the season for the Lions and the Stampeders. Series even, 1 win each. BC warming up for the playoffs. Calgary in next year country, building for 2005 after that impressive win over the Argos 6 days ago.
Head coach Matt Dunnigan and the Calgary Stampeders started the season on a high note with a win versus Saskatchewan, then won just one of his next 12. The good news is he has a quarterback in Kahari Jones, and the football team has won 2 of their last 3.
Wally Buono had a perfect record against his old team until the Stampeders stole a victory at McMahon Stadium in late September. He is likely over it after clinching first place in the West and home field for the final November 14th for the first time since 1999. Ironically, Glenn, 1999 was the year that Wally's Stampeders won the West final right here and then lost the Grey Cup to the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
The Calgary Stampeders this year, John, have given the BC Lions all they can handle. 1 overtime win for BC, 1 loss in Calgary, like you just mentioned.
Aaron Lockett drops deep for the BC Lions. And here's the kickoff from Clinton Greathouse. Lockett leaves it for Antonio Warren. And Warren has a speedy return out across the 45. He's dropped at the 50. Dave Dickinson gets his first start since week 3 for the Lions. He warms up for the playoffs. Canadian slotback Jason Claremont had another outstanding season. He's over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career. And one change up front for the Lions in this one tonight. Corey Mantika is healthy again and will start at right tackle. Lions begin at the 50-yard line. Geroy Simon has the catch, and he's wrapped up in a hurry by George White.
Dave Dickinson starting in this game makes a whole bunch of sense for the BC Lions and Wally Buono. First of all, Casey Printers is a little banged up. Now, he is available and can play if Buono decides to put him in the game. But Dickinson needs the work. He had a great drive versus Montreal, and he needs to get some reps, both physically and mentally.
It's a loss of 5 yards for the Lions on that first play. Dickinson to Simon. On 2nd and 15, Dickinson unloads, and he's off the money. Looking for Ryan Thelwell.
And I talked to Casey Printers about that. He said, yeah, I'm banged up, but so is everybody when you're at this point in the season, and he feels like he's ready to go. He's having an MVP year. I mean, if he does not take another snap, my vote for outstanding player goes to Casey Printers.
Well, the numbers have been outstanding. There's no question about that. He has led the Lions to first place in the West, while Dickinson has been recovering.
And that's no disrespect to Anthony Calvillo in Montreal or Troy Davis in Hamilton. There's lots of guys having big years, but my vote's for Printers right now.
O'Mahony puts it down to the 22. McGarity, and he's rolled out at about the 37-yard line. Kahari Jones coming off a solid performance in an impressive victory in his first start for the Stampeders. And running back Joffrey Reynolds lived up to his billing with 189 yards against the Argonauts last Saturday. He looks like the real deal. Every game is a milestone for the Stampeders leader up front. Jamie Crysdale plays his 204th consecutive game at center for the Stampeders tonight. The starting lineup brought to you by Tums. Tums tackles heartburn fast. Joffrey Reynolds, and Floyd has him wrapped up in a hurry.
Well, one of the other guys will be after Joffrey Reynolds, and Kahari Jones in that front 7 will be Brent Johnson, who could be the nominee for the BC Lions for Outstanding Canadian. 8 sacks on the season for the defensive end. In the secondary, one change. Bo Lewis moves from the nickel position. He'll play at halfback and start there. The injury to Mark Washington. So Lewis draws in. He was on the roster as the nickel. Now as the starting halfback. Anthony Walker comes on for Washington, who's banged up.
On 2nd down for Kahari Jones. Slides it out, and Lewis will make the catch. He's only got a couple of yards. That was 2nd and about 11 after a loss on 1st down. So quickly the Stampeders kick it away as well.
A great start, though, last week for Kahari Jones, and just a different attitude for the Calgary Stampeders since he's arrived. You know, in a couple of weeks, he's learned the offense in a hurry. And in fact, last week versus Toronto and tonight here in BC, Kahari Jones will call all his own plays.
Clinton Greathouse in for the Stampeders, standing back near his 25. Aaron Lockett deep for the Lions back at his 30. Greathouse thought about it for a second, brought it down. Now he gets it away. And a 1 hopper. Lockett draws a no yards penalty as he crosses the 35. He's wrapped up at the 37. Dave Dickinson begins this drive for the Lions at the BC 38. Nice play action fake, and Simon makes the catch, a little shy of the first down. Antonio Warren took the fake.
So you work in the media in Calgary, and you have to decide who's going to be your defensive nominees from the Calgary Stampeders. How about someone from the linebacking core by the name of John Grace, who's 4 times been named the Outstanding Defensive Player of the Week? Or Joey Bose, who sits second in the league in tackles with 85, has 3 interceptions, and leads the team in special teams tackles as well.
And Bose was named the Defensive Player of the Week for his performance against the Argonauts. Antonio Warren is stuffed. Clark was there, and John Grace as well.
Well, there's the tandem, and it is some kind of linebacking core for the Calgary Stampeders. John Grace and Brian Clark this time. And you have George White and Scott Coe. There's John Grace, number 7, right there. And Brian Clark is right in the middle of your screen right here. You're going to see how they flow to the football. Watch how the 2 linebackers in the 34 defense come from different positions and end up at the same destination. That's the guy with the football in his hands.
And on 3rd down and a yard to go, the Lions aren't taking any chances. They thought about it here for a moment, and now they've changed their mind and will kick it away.
But that's respect for this Calgary defense. That's what that is. And Wally Buono, who's played this team twice, and his offense has been sacked 9 times and given up 3 interceptions in 2 games so far versus Calgary. This is giving him a little respect. It's 3rd and a yard, and they're going to punt the football.
McGarity, one of 2 deep for the Stampeders. O'Mahony standing at his 32. O'Mahony sails it down to McGarity on the fly, and not much on the return, but a penalty marker goes down. It will be against the Lions, no yard.
Thanks, John. And we're joined by Lions president Bobby Ackles. And Bobby, this is your 3rd year here. It's taken you a while, but you've had a sellout this season, and they're talking football again in BC. Talk about the resurgence.
Well, they certainly are talking football again. It's been nice to see the excitement around the Lower Mainland and throughout British Columbia. But this is a good crowd tonight for us, and we're going to open the upper deck for the Saskatchewan game because we've sold more than 25,000 seats for that game, which is our final regular season game.
And I know there was a lot of talk that it might take at least 1 more year before you could do that, but you're going to do it for the Western Final and a game before that. I mean, what kind of crowds are you expecting for those games?
Well, it's very hard to predict right now. We're over 22,000 for the Western Final right now. So I'm expecting good crowds for both games.
Bobby, again, great job in bringing football back to BC. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Farah.
All right, John.
And a sigh of relief for the Lions last week in that comeback win over the Alouettes to lock up top spot and that home field for the November 14th Western Final.
Well, day 1 of ticket sales for the final, they sold over 5,000 in 1 day. So they're going fast. It's going to be a big crowd.
Kahari Jones on 2nd and 9, and the receiver fell down. Marsh has it. Returning for the Lions, Dante Marsh.
You hit it on the head, John. The receiver down that sideline either put the brakes on or slipped and fell. Dante Marsh continued on the go route, and that's the guy who comes up with the football on the corner, Dante Marsh. And this is another, you have to give Wally Buono a ton of credit for 2 corners for the BC Lions, Dante Marsh and Sam Young. They had trouble early in the season, but he stuck with them, and now being patient with his young corners has paid off in a big way.
Dante Marsh returns it 19 yards to set the Lions up at the Stampeder 51. Dickinson goes to work near side. He's got G-Roy Simon, and Simon spins close to a first down. We'll check out the spot.
You know, let's get back to the quarterback situation just for a minute with the BC Lions. And we talked about the importance of reps for Dave Dickinson. He did not get any in training camp. Casey Printers can play and will play. You get the feeling that with the guys' attitude and their approach, and I'm talking both quarterbacks, this will never be a controversy in BC, at least maybe not until next season, because they have their eye on the prize, which is the Grey Cup, and they're willing to contribute however Wally Buono decides they should contribute.
And I think they're going to need both to go all the way, somehow or other. Both Dickinson and Printers will have to be part of Grey Cup success for the Lions if they're able to take it all the way. Antonio Warren has the first down.
I agree with you, John, and I think because you look at the way the season has gone, Dave Dickinson starts the year but is banged up with no reps out of training camp, doesn't finish a game in the first 3. Casey Printers comes in and really is the phenom of the CFL this year and wins and puts the Lions into the Western Final and hosting that playoff game. I know Dave Dickinson had the winning drive versus Montreal, but Printers basically with his season has put him in this position.
Nice play action fake by Dickinson. Thelwell makes the catch inside the 30. He's got the 25 and almost to the 20-yard line. Wally Buono thinking about his quarterbacks, Dave Dickinson in particular.
I think Dave could use more work. You know, he was very, very sharp against Montreal, and you know, from that point of view, was sharp against you know, Toronto. But you know, from his point of view, I think there's a reflex, there's a vision, and the more reps he can get to you know, improve those things, the better he'll be.
17-yard pickup for Dickinson there to set the Lions up just outside the Stampeder 20-yard line. It's been an impressive drive after the interception. Dickinson likes to float. Looks to the corner. No catch. Thelwell was the target. He's got the ball, but they ruled no catch. It skipped.
Well, and just to wrap up that point with Wally Buono and the quarterbacks, he said all year he wants both Dave Dickinson now and Casey Printers sharp for the playoffs. Remember what happened last year when they went over to Toronto and lost Dave Dickinson just before the playoffs. Wally Buono now will not have to worry about that, provided both stay healthy in the last 2 regular season games. And that's huge for a coach to have 2 guys that he knows he can win with.
This will be 2nd and 10 Lions. Dickinson near side, and Cutolo has the catch. They spot it at the 10-yard line. It'll be a first down.
That is the uncanny timing of Dave Dickinson. First of all, Dave knows exactly who he wants to throw to by his pre-snap read. He gets out there and on time, in rhythm, throws a strike to the outside where only Cutolo can come up with a catch, and he was just 1 yard past that first down marker. Perfect timing from Dave Dickinson.
41st catch of the season for Frank Cutolo to set the Lions up with a 1st and goal to go just inside the 10-yard line. They'll call it the Stampeder 9. This drive set up on the interception by Dante Marsh. Antonio Warren has run well for the BC Lions as their #1 gun coming out of the backfield all season long.
And Dave Dickinson will mix up Antonio Warren. He knows his value. I think Antonio Warren is really the unsung hero for the BC Lions this year. And look at Dickinson's numbers to get started in this game. 6 of 7 on this drive. Almost perfect. As Casey Printers will watch at least for the first half.
2nd and goal. Stampeders 8-yard line is where the Lions are set up now. Dickinson looks to put it up. He has Claremont. Oh, what a move! A great move. Touchdown! Jason Claremont. A beauty after the catch.
What a move by Jason Claremont in the open field. 3 Calgary Stampeders miss, and he gets in the end zone. Jason Claremont will come from the backside of the formation all the way across. And watch what he does, folks, in the open field. This is a sure tackle right there. What a move right there. And then on Terry to get that extra 3 yards and cross the goal line.
7th touchdown catch of the season for Jason Claremont. Over 1,000 yards coming in. He has been sensational. Jason Claremont with the 8-yard reception. And a beautiful play to find his way into the end zone for the Lions, and a 7-0 advantage BC.
Well, he's known as an aggressive receiver. He likes to run guys over. That time he showed us some great moves in the open field. That was a pretty 8-yard touchdown reception. 7th of the season for Claremont. You don't often say the word pretty when you're talking about Jason's production. You talk about aggression and attacking people.
Ronnie Jenkins for the Stampeders out across the 40 to the 43. And this was extra effort from the receiver.
Well, he's going to run the crossing route. Now, you think that he's got 2 tacklers to beat, but really a receiver only has to beat one of the 2, and I'll show you what I mean. You've got Terrence Moore on the inside right here. Terrence Moore is there, but Milo Lewis, if he stays outside, they have him in. All that Jason Claremont has to do is beat one of them. He beats Milo Lewis, makes him fall inside. He takes out Terrence Moore by himself. Now he's got one-on-one on Nate Terry, beats him. Touchdown, BC.
Let's see if the Stampeders can respond with Kahari Jones at the controls. This was the guy who was really impressive against the Argonauts, Joffrey Reynolds. And down at the Stampeder bench, Perry Solkowski.
John, thank you. Joffrey Reynolds was a Giant football player in September, property of the New York Giants. He's proven to be a big man up with the Calgary Stampeders in October. Player of the week last week, 189 yards, averaged over 8 yards a carry. Matt Dunnigan saying now that Kahari Jones is there, a veteran quarterback, Reynolds will be that much better simply because Jones knows how to mix everything up. Boy, he knows he's a big piece to the Calgary puzzle in the future.
Right, you are. He averages 6.2 yards per carry. And he gets it again. This will be for the first down across midfield.
John, Joffrey Reynolds in 3 games has 345 yards rushing. That's more rushing yards than Victor Ike had in 13 games. Now, in fairness to Victor Ike, he didn't see the ball as much. Matt Dunnigan has been trying to get balance in that attack. Now with Kahari Jones, the veteran, understanding the importance of that, calling the plays on the field, the running back becomes that much bigger of a factor in the Calgary offense.
And in the early going, these Stampeders did not run the football a great deal at all. That was not part of the offensive plan. Kahari Jones into tight coverage, and McGarity can't make the catch. That was Deshaun Austin covering there.
Yeah, and if they can get Joffrey Reynolds going, he's improved every single game out. In his first start, he had 63 yards. In his second, 93, and then you heard Perry talk about 189 last week. There's his 6.2-yard average. He's also thrown in a couple of touchdowns. So from that production, you know he can get it done. It's just a matter of getting him the rock.
Stampeders look at 2nd and 10 now. Flags are down as Kahari Jones looks deep. And can't hook up with Nick Lewis, the intended target, number 82.
Yeah, you know what happened? Nick Lewis is going to get called on an offside because Nick Lewis saw Jason Crum come out of the middle of the field, and Jason Crum established that he was blitzing from the safety position real early. He got up there in the line of scrimmage.
Offside, Calgary number 82, decline, 3rd down.
So Nick Lewis saw that Jason Crum had come from the safety, moved up to the line of scrimmage, and guess who's supposed to go deep if that happens? Nick Lewis. So he gets excited, he wants to get down the field in a hurry, and jumps offside.
So Clinton Greathouse is in for the Stampeders. Aaron Lockett drops deep for the Lions back around the BC 15-yard line. At the 20, Lockett. No flags. He's got the 31, and that's where the Lions will begin with Dave Dickinson on the next drive. For Dave Dickinson to his right, and he's got Thelwell. It'll be a first down Lions right about midfield for Ryan Thelwell. Nice catch, nice pattern.
Leroy Simons had a couple of catches in this game, leads the Canadian Football League in receptions, and closing in on a BC Lion milestone. if Geroy Simon gets 104 tonight, he needs 92 now after a couple of catches early on in this game. He'll pass Darren Flutie, who set the mark back in '94 for the Lions. Early in the season, Simon was on pace for a CFL record by around the midway point set by Alan Pitts.
First down, Lions. Dickinson again, complete at the 50-yard line.
John Pitts' record was in '94 as well, and he had 2,036 yards receiving that year. And early on in the season, in fact, upway to the midway point, Geroy Simon was on pace to smash that mark. Now, there were 2 games that hurt Geroy Simon. One against the Ottawa Renegades around the midway point. He had just 9 yards in that one. And 2 weeks ago versus Toronto, 50. Other than that, Geroy Simon's been averaging around 112 yards per game receiving. That is unbelievable.
Sensational season. Chris Brazel, back in the Lions lineup recently, has a 6-yard reception on the previous play, making this 2nd and 4. Flags fly, and this will be enough for first down as Thelwell makes another catch. He's at the 40. We'll check the infractions.
Then you look at the rest of the targets and weapons for the BC Lions, and boy, it really doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. You got some guys to throw
Offside.
to.
Calgary number 91. Decline. First down.
I mean, Geroy Simon, we just talked about him. See Claremont with his nice 8-yard touchdown. He's over 1,000. Ryan Thelwell is probably sort of the forgotten man in the group. You got Chris Brazel with the great speed and Frank Gutolo, the playmaker. I mean, that's a lot of yards in your receiving corps.
And Brazel has missed games on the season. Lions on first down. Dickinson buys some time and doesn't buy quite enough. He's dropped from behind. Scott Coe is there.
That was a coverage sack for the Calgary Stampeders because Dickinson did have enough time to try and get that football out of his hands and down the field, but he didn't have an open target. Credit to the Calgary secondary there. They have battled this Calgary defense all season long on special teams, and on the defensive side they've actually scored in 5 different games defensively and special teams. I mentioned in the 2 games versus Calgary they sacked BC quarterbacks 9 times.
Early movement and flags again. Dickinson may have a free play. He's got Simon again, and it's spotted at the 30. Enough for a first down if the penalty goes against Calgary.
Well, there was definite movement on the line of scrimmage. Brian Clark and John Grace were both trying to time up stunts up the middle.
Offside. Calgary number 91. Decline. First down.
When they jumped up into their stunts from the linebacking core, they drew Demetrius Maxey offside.
And that's the final play of the opening quarter, with the Lions on the move again and already leading the Stampeders 7-0 at BC Place. With the Lions poised to make another run at the Stampeder end zone. Just 1 touchdown so far, a 7-play 51-yard drive finished off by Dave Dickinson's toss to Jason Claremont. And here are the Lions, 1st and 10 at the Calgary 30.
They're about to get started, and then the officials blew the whistle to have a little conference.
It's a clock malfunction here, and now they fixed that. So here we go with the first down for the Lions. Dickinson has looked extremely sharp, and as I say that, he missed Brazel.
Well, he has looked sharp in the first quarter, and you can tell by how many first downs he's put up in the first quarter. 6 first downs as opposed to just 1 for the Calgary Stampeders. Got 104 net yards, and look to see probably some more involvement from Antonio Warren as the second quarter continues. This is right about the end of the field, and Warren becomes more involved as well.
Inside the 35. 2nd and 10 Lions. Dickinson with time. He's got Claremont, and he's got a first down. Claremont slips in across the 20-yard line. So a couple of big catches for Jason Claremont, and Dickinson hasn't missed much so far tonight.
No, he hasn't. And what he did there is he put out most of his receivers in the same sort of area, curl routes all the way across the board, and then he just decides which one of the defenders has given his receiver the most room. And this time it was Demetrius Maxey. He sees Demetrius Maxey, the lineman, drop as a changeup for the Stampeders on defense and throws right to his zone.
12-yard gain. Lions 1st and 10 at the Stampeder 18 now. Two receivers to the near side. There was early movement. Dickinson has a wide open target. He's got Lyle Green sliding out of the backfield. And it's marked as a 1st down.
Yeah, I'm not sure though. This is one that may come back simply because it looked like Geroy Simon was having problems timing up the snap count as Dave Dickinson got into his cadence and then had to come back to the backside. You know, we talk about reps for Dickinson.
Offside. BC number 85.
There you
Repeat
go.
1st down.
Yeah, Chris Brazel was lined up beside Geroy Simon. They were both having problems with that cadence from Dave Dickinson. That's one of the things that reps will bring them. Remember, most of the receivers all season long have been listening to the cadence of Casey Printers. And it's very different when Dave Dickinson's in there, so they need to get that rhythm back.
Repeating 1st down. It's 1st and 15 now at the Stampeder 23. And that movement looked to be coming from the Calgary side, although we'll wait and see because there are 3 markers down on the field.
Well, Sheldon Napustuk was in there so quickly, you got to believe he was drawn in some way.
Well, he was clapping for the flag that went down, so.
Procedure. BC number 62. It remains 1st down.
Yeah, that's Bobby Singh.
That's why Napustuk is happy about that. So all of a sudden it's 1st and 20 for the Lions.
Bobby Singh just moved out of his stance just prior to the snap of the ball as they all try to get used to Dave Dickinson calling the signals again.
Back at the 28. Dickinson steps up, wide open target near side. Cutillo, and he gets a lot back in one catch.
You see what Dickinson did though, John, as he hits up in there and scrambles for some more time. He doesn't look down the field to find who is open. He looks straight ahead and knows who is going to be open. He's going to scramble in the middle. Watch how quickly the ball comes out of his hands as he scrambles through that little hole right here. It comes out of his hand. He didn't know there was an open receiver on the outside there. He knew from the patterns he had to be open based on the defense he saw.
18-yard gain for Cutillo, and all of a sudden the Lions are right back in control of things on this drive, looking at 2nd and a couple at the Stampeder 10. And this is Antonio Warren territory. As you were hinting, he's down to the 5.
And look at Dave Dickinson as he starts this game. You mentioned it, John. 1st start since week 3. And Dave Dickinson right now sitting at 80% in his completion percentage department, 128 yards and knocking on the door for another score.
Very controlled performance by Dickinson thus far. 1 touchdown in the opening quarter on a 51-yard drive. And the Lions knocking at the Stampeders' door again here. It's 1st and goal from the 5. Dickinson escapes. Oh, just about connected. Looking for Cutillo in the back of the end zone, and Cutillo made a move and couldn't quite get over to the ball.
Yeah, and this one, remember I said the couple plays ago, Dickinson knew by the coverage where to throw. Well, this time the play takes so long to develop that everything is broken now, and now it's just sort of playground football. Find a guy, wave to him, you're the bottle cap, you go to the back of the end zone, I'll try and throw you an alley-oop there.
Yep.
And Dickinson just misses him as they try and make it up as they go along on that one.
Inches away from a connection there. 13th play of this drive coming now. Dickinson gets it away quickly this time. Cutillo. They call it a touchdown. Cutillo had his hands on the ball, went right through the end zone. Stampeder defenders waving it out. But it's a touchdown for the Lions. Dickinson to Cutillo.
What a great adjustment by Frank Cutolo. He's running a quarter pattern, which means he's down the field and breaks to the outside on a 45-degree angle to the corner. He's expecting the ball over this shoulder, and it comes over this shoulder. He has to react on the fly, turn his body around. He juggles it a bit, pulls it in, and keeps both feet in bounds.
He
even
did.
though he only needs one.
Great call as Cutolo juggled the ball and got a foot down in bounds. In fact, 2, as you say. Good enough for the touchdown. An impressive drive for the BC Lions, and that's back-to-back touchdown marches engineered by Dave Dickinson. It's 14-0 Lions.
Yeah. So then he thinks I'm going to run it. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'll run it the same.
Well, it sounds that easy, doesn't it? 13 plays, 79 yards, a 5-yard touchdown toss to Frank Cutolo, his 9th reception of the year. And the Lions are on top, 14-0.
What a drive by Dave Dickinson to put 13 plays together. Methodically move down the field.
This is Jenkins for the Stampeders, and Otis Floyd has him wrapped up at the 40-yard line. There's the combination. Here's how it looked live.
Well, the game is about decisions. I want to show you one from Antonio Warren. He's got to choose between this stunt. Scott Coe and John Grace are going to do like an X stunt. He's got to pick up most dangerous. He picks up Coe. John Grace will get a hit on Dave Dickinson, but it's a second too late. If Antonio Warren decides on John Grace and not Scott Coe, there's no play for the Lions. A great decision by your running back allows the quarterback to complete a touchdown pass.
And he took on the bigger guy, too, did he not? The bigger of the 2 linebackers.
Well, he's going to take a hit either way because one of those guys is going to be unblocked. So now in a split second, Antonio Warren, 34, has to make that decision. Take Coe. He's the most dangerous because he's coming down Main Street. Grace has to come around. Dave Dickinson will take that hit to complete a touchdown every time.
Joffrey Reynolds for the Stampeders. A little above his 6.2-yard average so far in a Calgary uniform. He picked up 8, 2nd and 2 Calgary. Gary Jones looking to get the rhythm going here. And Reynolds will be stopped short of the first down.
Joffrey Reynolds, we mentioned, had the 189-yard game versus Toronto. That's a team that, as good a defense as they have in Toronto, has been susceptible to the run. This team, the BC Lions, is not susceptible to the run. They are number 1 in the league against the run. And you're looking at giving up 72.1 yards per game. That ranks first. In fact, they're first in a couple of categories when you're talking about run defense.
You like this call? Stampeders go gambling. It's 3rd and a long yard to go. Calgary has to get across the 51 and a little more.
Oh, boy.
And
no, sir.
Not this time. And now we hate the call, I'm guessing.
Well, it's the number 1 run defense in the Canadian Football League. You're running right into the strength of the BC Lion defense.
Baron Simpson
and that's Baron Simpson and some great run stoppers at linebacker. Otis Floyd will take one for the team. He takes on the block to allow Baron Simpson, 51, to step into the hole nicely. Joffrey Reynolds has nowhere to go.
So the Stampeders gamble fails, and all of a sudden they've given the Lions a terrific position here.
That's the way you stop the run.
Stadium at BC Place, it's Wendy's Friday Night Football. The Lions are red hot. The Stampeders gamble does not pay off. And on the first play, the Lions, a procedure call, a loss of 5. It'll be 1st and 15 coming.
Passing set in the game for the BC Lions, even though the lineup at tight ends, one of the tight ends is Jason Claremont. The other, Lyle Green, a running back. They still sort things out. Lots of different formations from Steve Barato, the offensive coordinator. They'll put Jason Claremont at tight end along with Lyle Green. Sometimes they'll even stack the receivers in there. G-Roy Simon, Ryan Thelwell. Like to show you a lot of different looks. That's what Steve Barato does. And they will run and pass out of the tight end sets, so that there's no tendencies given up to the defense.
Lions leading the league in average points per game, counting 33. 1st and 15 for Dickinson and the Lions here. Picked up. Tipped right into the hands of Lewis. He lost the ball. Stampeders look to have it again. Milo Lewis had it tipped into his mitts, and the Stampeders dodge a big bullet after gambling and losing on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, it's going to turn out okay for the Calgary Stampeders, and this ball may have been a bit high. Lyle Green is the tight end. He's going to just go out to the flat. Now, this ball may have been a bit high for the running back, but it goes through both his hands. Some kind of reaction, though, for Milo Lewis, because that ball came through in a hurry. He reacted to it, came out, and Terrence Moore, the safety, recovers his fumble.
3rd interception of the season for Lewis, and the Stampeders are suddenly inside the Lion 40-yard line. 1st down. The run game, Joffrey Reynolds. And nice bit of following his blocking there. It's Ronnie Jenkins, I should say, number 24.
Yeah, they'll mix the both of them in there. Joffrey Reynolds is the #1 running back, but occasionally Ronnie Jenkins will come in for a play or two. 2 late season acquisitions for the Calgary Stampeders, and that's a couple of building blocks for next year for Stampeder fans, is 2 good running backs, and then you throw in Nicholas Lewis, outstanding rookie at the receiving corps, and you've got some pieces of the puzzle in place for 2005.
Kahari Jones looking at another 1st down. Has to get it away and throws it in touch, and a smart move by Jones. He had no one open and nowhere to go.
No, he didn't. He wanted Nick Lewis. Nick Lewis was running down the seam against Bo Lewis and Jason Crum. And Crum had come over from the safety to double team the rookie, and because he was double teamed, Kahari Jones made the wise decision to throw it out of bounds. Pretty good season for the rookie and Nick Lewis.
Absolutely, closing in on 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. And for a while in the early going, he was the 5th receiver used by the Stampeders.
Front runner, the rookie of the year, I would say.
2nd and 10. Stampeders at the Lions 27. Jones goes for it all. Jump ball in the end zone. Picked off. A penalty flag coming, though, and the coverage back in the Stampeder offensive zone as Walker comes up with the ball, and this will not be an interception. Roughing is going to be charged against the Lions.
They roll the coverage and move the nickelback Anthony Walker back to the safety spot, but you're right.
Roughing the passer.
There you go.
BC number 26. 1st down.
So that's Carl Kidd.
Carl Kidd was trying to find a spot to hit the hole and come on the backside blitz on Kahari Jones. And as he does, he comes around the corner. Here he is right down Main Street, a push down to Kahari Jones, and that draws the flag.
So this Stampeder drive continues impressively here as a result of the interception. And a penalty there, roughing the passer. The Stamps are set up at the BC 13, 1st down. The ball is loose again. The Lions have it this time. Ronnie Jenkins lost the handle, and Williams comes up with it.
You know, the timing looked off from the beginning of this play until the very end for Ronnie Jenkins.
Third turnover coughed up by the Stampeders so far tonight.
Watch me.
And the Lions take over inside the 15. They're actually at the 11-yard line. 1st and 10 BC. Dickinson takes a hit. Penalty flags were already down near the 15.
Let's go back to that fumble from Ronnie Jenkins, and it's a play by Baron Simpson. You saw him make a tackle on a 3rd down. Now you're going to see him stuff a block and cause Ronnie Jenkins to run into his own guy, Jay McNeil. And on the play, fumbles the football because of it. Baron Simpson steps
Offside.
up. Jay McNeil is right
Calgary
there. The ball
number
bounces
38.
off the back of Jay
Repeat
McNeil.
1st down.
And that's what causes the fumble. Tyrone Williams recovers it. Low man wins. McNeil tried to block Simpson. Simpson got low, stood him up in the hole. And Jenkins ran into the back of his offensive lineman.
It's a 1st and 5 situation for the Lions on the penalty against the Stampeders. Dickinson to the far side, and he's got Brazel. Chris Brazel makes the catch. Down at the Lions bench, Farhan Lalji.
Thanks, John. And the news is not good for offensive lineman Corey Mantica. He suffered a dislocation of his left elbow, and there was also a compound fracture involved. Plenty of blood all over his pants. Really snake bit. He was coming back into the lineup after missing 4 games with a knee injury. It's hard to imagine him making it back anytime this season after that.
Huge loss for the BC Lions there. They have struggled at times with that offensive line.
Well, that is a tough blow for Corey Mantica.
Losing a veteran, Mantica's caliber, really hurts. Antonio Warren, and he'll have another BC Lions first down. The running game is working well for the Lions.
Yeah, the Lions, you know, the Lions will make adjustments, and McFadden has played a lot of the season. But just from a personal standpoint, for Corey Mantica, who's gone through an injury-plagued season, to just come back fresh and feel good from the waist down, and his legs were strong again, and then to have problems in his upper body now in this game. That's a tough break for him, but McFadden gets the opportunity and makes a nice block to spring Warren there.
13 yards for Antonio Warren. Lions closing in on midfield. Dickinson wrapped up and dropped for the first time. Demetrius Maxey got through for his first sack of the night.
Well, and Demetrius Maxey is the reason that the trade the Calgary Stampeders made with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers makes so much sense for Matt Dunnigan and the Calgary Stampeders. No question, Joe Fleming's a great football player, but so is Demetrius Maxey, who basically plays in the same spot. So they get Maxey in there, and they get a veteran quarterback in Kahari Jones, and they feel like the Calgary Stampeders do that they made a pretty good trade.
Loss of 10 yards, and they also have Maxey signed up for a couple of years after he failed in his bid to make it to the NFL. Antonio Warren, and he gets 10 yards back plus a little.
Well, that's a good point, John, because Joe Fleming is coming into his option, and at the end of the season will be a free agent unless the Winnipeg Blue Bombers can re-sign him. So I know the Bombers feel like they made a good trade, and they love Joe Fleming and Wes Lysak and Scott Reginbald. But so do the Calgary Stampeders, and a lot of times in the CFL when a trade is made, both teams benefit in some way because they're filling some holes and adjusting their lineup to take care of some needs.
Duncan O'Mahony is in, standing inside his 40-yard line. Too deep for the Stampeders. Lewis and McGarity.
Fucking kick it out of bounds.
This will be McGarity closest to the ball, but there's no play there as O'Mahony angles it out. A 37-yard punt that time.
You know, and some people may say, well, you know, what's in this for the Calgary Stampeders? I mean, they're out of the playoffs. They got a couple games to go in the regular season. Well, there's a lot in it, and Matt Dunnigan will be the first to tell you, as a professional, remember, these guys do this for their jobs. This is their living. This is their livelihood. A lot of these players will go home tonight and they'll look their kids and wives in the eye and say, I got to bring a paycheck home, not just the rest of this year, but next year too. They're playing for jobs, but they're professionals. And when you cross the stripe, you put it all on the line.
Stampeders on first down. Jones releases in a hurry, and no catch possible there. The intended target, Solucio Sanford. And 3-minute warning is up at the stadium at BC Place. It's all BC. Stampeders look at 2nd and 10. Trailing by 2 touchdowns. Kahari Jones has time. As Joffrey Reynolds sliding out of the backfield. I don't know if the pass knocked him down or what.
He went to make a cut back to the inside and lost his footing all by himself. the old turf monster. You know, the Lions show blitz but don't come with the blitz. They show it and then drop out of there. That's why Kahari Jones has to hold the football. And you can see that Joffrey Reynolds tried to make a cut and kind of both feet went up in the air, and even Kahari Jones said, what happened there? What exactly happened there?
He didn't know he had that much stuff on the ball is what he's wondering about there.
I'll take a little off it next time when I get it out there to the flat.
Aaron Lockett drops deep for the Lions, who will have good field position for the final 2 minutes of the opening half. Clinton Greathouse not deep. A one hopper, and Lockett had a 105-yard touchdown return against the Stampeders in an earlier game this season. He's stopped here, but still the Lions will have a superb beginning to this next drive. It's another Fritos Fandemonium night here at BC Place. So we're looking for the wackiest fans in football. And we'll find someone, that's guaranteed.
Lots of choices tonight.
One ultimate fan will win a trip to the Grey Cup in Ottawa. And that's not too far away. The Lions might just be the team to support at Frank Clair Stadium come Grey Cup afternoon. There's a win to be had before then in the Western Final here on November 14th.
Hey, a lot of football to be played and a lot to be determined yet in the regular season, as a matter of fact. Of course, on Sunday, Winnipeg travels to Commonwealth Stadium, and that is a huge game.
Bombers fighting for a playoff spot. It's a long shot, but win a couple of games, including the one Sunday, and Winnipeg can be around for the playoffs.
And knock Edmonton out of the playoffs. Edmonton can finish second still. Saskatchewan plays BC in the last game of the regular season. If Saskatchewan wins that game, they can host a playoff game for the first time since 1988. So big one on Sunday.
And we'll be there for it. Kickoff 3 o'clock Eastern time on Wendy's CFL Live.
I'll bring my football hat. You bring your football hat like that? You got one of those?
Oh, I've got one of those, yeah.
Because I can get you one. I can just call my people. I can get you
You've got people
with the football
who deliver
hat
hats?
companies, yeah. Oh, yeah.
1:58 remaining in the opening half. The Lions with a first down just inside the 45. Dickinson has been very effective. Ryan Thelwell his target, and he's out of bounds. Made the catch, couldn't come down inside the white stripe.
Yeah, and Joey Bose flew over there and almost pushed him, but Ryan Thelwell's own momentum took him out of bounds. That's why the officials ruled correctly that this is not a catch. He went up, but you see his momentum before Bose gets there is taking him well out of bounds. If Bose pushes him, they can rule that the push pushed him out, and therefore he would have come back without the push inbounds. But they made the correct call. His own momentum took him out.
So it's 2nd and 10. Numbers on Dave Dickinson, 15 of 21. Couple of touchdowns. 2nd and 10 Lions. Heat was on Dickinson, got it away. That's Claremont. And he's wrapped up well short of a first down. So the Stampeders are not giving up much here on this particular drive anyway. They'll get it back with time to make a drive.
Matt Dunnigan has seen his defense put in a courageous effort all season long, and talk about building blocks, cornerstones of the foundation of your team. I think, you know, if you're going to start a team, why not start on the defensive side? That's what Dunnigan wanted to do, and this is the strength of the team by far will be when they break training camp next year.
O'Mahony standing near midfield. Charge was on. O'Mahony tries to roll it out, and he does successfully as McGarity watches it roll by and roll out near the 5. Flag down, personal foul against the Lions on Mark Pilon. So Stampeders get a little back. They'll begin this sequence from the 20. Jones, nice coverage over the top. It's Deshaun Austin, And the intended target was Mike Juhas. 24 BC makes the play.
Yeah, and then the thing that the Calgary Stampeders have to look for next year is a little more receiver help. I mean, we talked about Nick Lewis, and he's going to be a keeper. But, you know, there was a situation. Kahari Jones looks out in the flat, tries to throw it to Mike Juhas, who is covered like a blanket by Deshaun Austin. The receiver's got to get open.
.117 to play, opening half. 2nd and 10, Stampeders here. Jones looking deep, and he's got a target. It's Juhas. Couldn't squeeze it.
And should have.
Reacted well to the ball and then couldn't hang on.
Well, he put the brakes on, and then he really struggled with the football when it arrived. He was fighting with Deshaun Austin down the field again, and really didn't shake Austin, but what he did is he put the brakes on and came back. Then he had both hands on it. Austin had got pushed a little deep from it, and then he just battled it. And, you know, now what Kahari Jones has to say to him when he gets to the sideline is, Mike, the ball is your friend.
Don't fight it.
Don't fight it. The ball is your friend.
3rd 2 and out for the Stampeders. And the Lions will get this back with an opportunity for more points before halftime. Clint Greathouse across his 8 to lift a high one. Lockett falls down and still is up to get it on one hop and draw the penalty marker.
That'll be
on the
5
Stampeder
yard
coverage.
Be the 5-yard version. I did talk about the cornerstones for the Calgary Stampeders and what Denny Crehan has built in this 34 defense is certainly something that Matt Dunnigan can, you know, be rest assured that next year he's got a solid defense to start with, and then that's what he wanted this year to build.
Yards.
You look at that second, third, tied for 2nd in sacks. That's the big play category. Look at the interceptions. Big improvement from a year ago in that category. They're a big play defense, and a big play defense you can win a lot of games with, even if your offense is just a little bit consistent. They didn't even get consistency for most of the season from the offense because they were looking for a quarterback all year.
And the best game of the season for the Calgary Stampeders offensively last week. Kahari Jones in his first game, a win over the Argonauts. And there's Dave Dickinson making a connection with Thelwell again.
And then when you look at Denny Crehan's 34 defense, the 4 is the 4 linebackers. And look at this group that they have to work with. I mean, George White, John Grace, we talked about earlier. There's Coe and Brian Clark. Look at what they've combined for. 20 of the 42 quarterback sacks, 8 of their 22 interceptions, fumble recoveries. Look at all the tackles. And they're turning it into offense. 4 of the interceptions for touchdowns. I mean, you can build a team around that.
Here's a Winnipegger who's had a great season. When you look to the linebacking core, Scott Coe.
Well, those guys, John, those guys are playmakers. That's what they are. They're playmakers on the defensive side of the ball. And, well, you just think of a season that could have been had maybe Kahari Jones ended up in Calgary by midseason, or, you know, in week 7 or 8, they could make that deal. Of course, Winnipeg was still looking at Kahari Jones as their leader at that time, but they are very close, the Calgary Stampeders. And when you look at their record, you may not think so, but they are very, very close. Kahari Jones is a big piece of the puzzle, and they start on that defense.
Well, the Stampeders also know that they let a couple of games get away this season.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, more than a couple. There was an opportunity against the Lions in the early going, a game that went to overtime, and the Stampeders eventually lost.
Antoine Young was shaken up on that play. He looks like he'll be okay. He'll have to wait out at least 3 while they sort out his problems.
So the Lions look at 2nd and 5 here. On the BC 50, ran it down, and a big charge on Dickinson, and there you go. There's the linebackers you're talking about.
On cue, John Gray, see, I guess he must have the microphone in his helmet. He heard, well, John and Glenn are talking about us. We might as well do something about it. And he just runs through the block. John Grace does this all by himself, and he is picked up on this stunt, folks. He's right here. Watch him go. John Grace walked right through. He is picked up on this stunt by lineman. And look at that. Right through the blocks of Freddie Moore, right into the lap of Dave Dickinson, knocks it away, tackles the quarterback, does it all by himself.
Stampeders don't have any points on the board, but they have forced the Lions into 2 and out on 4 successive drives. And here's O'Mani. Nick Lewis.
Stampeders take over 1st and 10. And they're on 28.
.21 seconds to go here on Monday. The NFL Monday Night Countdown, available in high def on TSN HD, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. We hope you can join us for that. There's Gastown in downtown Vancouver.
Right up there is a restaurant, that revolving deal at the top there. You can watch the whole city, the panorama, while you eat. It doesn't go too fast, so you don't get dizzy.
You don't get too dizzy.
No.
21 seconds till halftime. Last crack at it for Jones and the Stampeders. And Joffrey Reynolds stopped in his tracks again. Baron Simpson has keyed on him a couple of times tonight and been waiting.
Yeah, it's tough running. It's tough running for the Stampeders tonight. And they're sticking with it, to their credit. You know, you've got to keep the balance in there. And I thought that the BC Lions called a timeout. Looked like Jason Crum wanted to call a timeout with 17 seconds left. And Dunnigan trying to stay with the game plan, involve the run. But this is the #1 run defense in the league. BC Lions.
Randy Bowles into the game for the Stampeders. He was part of the deal with the Blue Bombers. Traded numbers with Scott Regenbald. 21 for 21, who's
fullback.
Now in Bomber Blue.
Fullback for fullback.
Reynolds limited to a 1-yard gain, 2nd and 9. Stampeders 17 seconds till halftime. And after the timeouts, Harry Jones down on one knee.
Yeah, and probably a good decision where they are on the field. You know, you need a couple of miracles to get into scoring range, and a lot of bad things can happen. You put the ball up in the air and you turn the ball over in field goal range to the Lions. You don't want to give them any extra points. So Calgary Stampeders will just kill this first half. Still in striking range of the Lions, just down by 14.
Hot start for the Lions. The Stampeders defense came up and made some plays. And the Lions scored early, but not often. 14-0. For the Lions, leading the Stampeders on Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Football here in BC, baby. Switch that!
It's never too early to remember. The Lions honoring Canada's war veterans. November 11th is Remembrance Day. Thanks to Canada's veterans. Nice touch by the BC Lions and a standing ovation for the members of the Canadian military who are on hand here tonight. Over at the Calgary sideline, here's Perry Solkowski.
Thank you, John. Coach, you gathered your offensive line after you failed on that 3rd down. Said, if you guys go, we'll be okay. You happy with what happened after that?
Oh, yeah. You know, first half, everybody took their turn making a mistake. What's happening is guys are they're too amped. They're too excited, and everybody wants to make a play. And I told them to take a deep breath, relax. And the good thing is we're only 14 points down, and we'll get a quick score right back in it.
The one guy who seemed to be calm was the 1st string or 2nd string in BC. Dickinson had 18 completions. How do you get to Dave in the 2nd?
Well, I don't know if we'll see him. You know, we're going to see Prentice and we're going to see Dave. We're going to see Spurgeon. We're going to go out there and try to make plays. And like I said, if our defense gets a score, offense score a couple times, we'll be all right.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Who will we see, guys? I think it's going to be Mr. Dickinson.
1 or 12. It's a wonderful dilemma facing the BC Lions. And, you know, when you look back, had Dave Dickinson not gone down with an injury in the early going this season, the Lions would not have discovered Casey Printers, would they?
Well, no, and this was his first half. Had a couple of touchdowns. This little 8-yarder to Jason Claremont, who does most of the work after the catch. A decent half for Dave Dickinson, though, when you think of the numbers, 17 of 24.
And Cutolo there managing to get his foot down, actually both feet down, inbounds for his 9th touchdown reception of the year. That capped off a 13-play, 79-yard drive, and that's the 2nd touchdown of the ball game to make it 14-0 for the BC Lions, leading the Stampeders.
And you say to your, when you're looking at the quarterback position, is your quarterback completing upwards of 60% of his passes? We're pretty happy. Well, guess what? Dave's at about 71%. He did throw the 1 interception, but that went through the hands of his running back into the hands of Milo Lewis. So he will get the interception in his stats, but really not his fault.
Lions are set to kick it off. Dropping deep for the Stampeders. Lucio Sanford, number 81. Stampeders look for field position here, and Sanford delivers. Well, at about the 41-yard line, not bad. 21 on the return after a 50-yard kickoff. Chris Hoople leading the tacklers for the Lions.
Matt Dunnigan now from his offense wants a lot less of this and a lot more of this, and that may be stating the obvious, but it was interesting when he mentioned, I just went in there at halftime and I said to the guys, just breathe. They're all out there pretty excited to play and make plays, and sometimes you can try too hard.
Obviously, Stampeders fired up after an impressive win over the Argonauts last week, and that was wonderful momentum for Calgary. It hasn't appeared on the football field here tonight. Against the Lions, Joffrey Reynolds had 189 yards in that victory over the Argonauts last Saturday, and he's not been able to break one so far tonight.
4 games ago, took over for Victor Ike out of NFL Europe. Joffrey Reynolds also 4 games with the Rams last year in the National Football League. There's a couple of interesting teams on his resume, but he's had his problems against this BC defense.
2nd and 5, Stampeders.
Oh,
nice play action fake, and Kahari Jones is away to the races. It'll be a first down for the Stampeders. Jones dropped around the 50-yard line by Tugbenyu.
Well, and see, Joffrey Reynolds has to have some success, or at least has to see the football, I should say, for this to even have a chance, because Mook Tugbenyu does not go down at Joffrey Reynolds unless he's been given the ball a bunch in the first half. So even though Joffrey Reynolds struggled against his defense, giving him the ball opens up some play action later on.
Kahari Jones for 11 yards. Stampeders across midfield into BC territory. And nothing doing this time as Bo Lewis read it perfectly. And Joffrey Reynolds is stopped for a loss.
I'm going to show you why Joffrey Reynolds is having problems. He's having problems because Tyrone Williams and Dante Booker in the middle here, they're getting a push. And watch how Joffrey Reynolds has to stop. He gets to the line of scrimmage, bam, has to stop. Now he has to restart, go back to the outside, and by then the pursuit gets him. If you don't have a bubble or a hole as a running back, you really have no chance. That's been his problem in this game. It's because the interior of that defensive line is getting penetration.
A loss of 2. 2nd and 12 here. Stampeders back at the 54. Jones had a target, and he'll get a catch. Sanford making it.
You know what
Covered
I like
by
about
Dante Marsh, sorry.
Celicio Sanford, and what he did there is he used his body, because Dante Marsh couldn't be any closer. I mean, Dante Marsh, to get closer, he'd have to be wearing the jersey with him. And he was climbing up his back as they broke back. And look at how close they are at the point of attack. But watch how Sanford will use his body to shield Dante Marsh away from the football and come up with a catch.
13-yard gain in front of Marsh. Stampeders with a first down. Nice drive, and it will continue here. Sanford again. Short of the first down.
That was just to get a little success on first down. The play designed to be about 5 or 6 yards and make sure he's well in front of any coverage from Dante Marsh and behind. Back-to-back times now, Kahari Jones goes to the left side of the formation.
And here are the Stampeders in 2nd and short, looking at 2nd and 3.
Yeah, see again.
Joffrey Reynolds.
Again with the run. Joffrey Reynolds, as he takes the football, is met by the pile, forced back a couple yards into his own backfield. It's just something that disrupts the running attack, because unless there's a little hole or a gap, see what's going to happen is that it gets bubbled back here. So when Reynolds hits the line, the penetration has caused problems. Look at this. It might be the back of his offensive lineman that he sees, but either way, whether it's a defensive lineman or the back of his own man, they're getting forced back too far, and Joffrey Reynolds, as he takes the football, has no time to hit or get any speed at the line of scrimmage. That's what's spoiling this running game right now.
We're the gamble here, though, for the Stampeders. 3rd down and short, less than a yard necessary for a 1st down to keep the Stampeders' momentum going here. Ready and waiting, Brent Johnson. Harry Jones, and he'll get the 1st down with no penalty markers anywhere on the field at BC Place.
You know, we just don't see anymore is on those 3rd and inches, just one time, fake like you're going to dive into the line of scrimmage and
then
drop
just
back out of there and throw an alley-oop up and just see if you can't catch him sleeping. But, you know, and jobs are on the line and careers are on the line and all of that. 3rd and inches, you want to go with the safe play, which is quarterback sneak.
Well, this would be critical here if the Stampeders can keep this drive rolling and get on the scoreboard, particularly with a touchdown. It's been impressive so far. Much better game plan. There's the play action fake. Jones under the cover, and Sanford again. He's been the #1 target here in the 2nd half, and he's made all the catches.
Well, yeah, when you look at that 1st half of production, or lack of it, from Kahari Jones in the passing game, this is some kind of drive for the Calgary Stampeders right now, and it's been a lot of Celicio Sanford to the left side of that formation.
Sanford has all the catches in this drive. 2nd down, inches to go for a Calgary 1st down.
Now they try it.
There you go. There's the old alley-oop. Lewis has the touchdown.
Well,
Nick Lewis. Yeah! There you go.
Well, it was 2nd down and inches, not 3rd down and inches, but okay, we'll take it. Go ahead and go up over the top. And you know what? Jason Crum did get caught a little shallow. He didn't get caught napping, but he did get caught a little shallow, thinking it was quarterback sneak, and then has trouble getting back there to help out on the deep play by Nick Lewis. Watch this. See, he gets caught moving forward at the snap. Now he and Bo Lewis are in chase position, and Nick Lewis wins the jump ball.
8th touchdown reception of the season for Nick Lewis, and the Stampeders are on the board. An impressive drive for Calgary to begin the 2nd half. 9:19 to go. Different story for the Stampeders in the 2nd half, as Nick Lewis has his 8th reception for a touchdown on the season, a 20-yarder from Kahari Jones.
Well, that drive will get the defense pumped up as well, and all of a sudden we have a football game on our hands here.
Warren returning for the Lions. He's got the 40-yard line almost. Actually stopped a couple shy there.
John, sometimes as a receiver you have to be a good salesman. You can't just put the goods on the shelf and expect the defensive back to buy. See, Nick Lewis right with that jam step right there with the right leg, he sells Bo Lewis on the inside move. Then he bounces back to the outside, goes down the field, and now Bo Lewis actually cuts off his help, which is Jason Crum, because he's way inside, because Nick Lewis sold the goods at the line of scrimmage.
Kahari Jones 2 of 9 in the 1st half, 4 for 4, equaling 50 yards in that touchdown toss to get the 2nd half underway. This is a huge move for Antonio Warren, still on his feet, crossing the 45 and into Stampeder territory.
John, I mentioned early in the game that Antonio Warren, to me, for the BC Lions, is the unsung hero of this football team. And you know, when they need it the most, to fight back from some momentum built by the Calgary Stampeders in drive one. 34 provides it. 13 games for Antonio Warren. He averages 155 yards a game. That's overall offense and special teams.
28 yards picked up there for Antonio Warren. First down for the Lions. Play action fake to Warren, and here's the toss. Claremont, that's a beauty. Claremont tough to bring down. Forced out at about the 2. Actually, about the 1. That's where they mark Jason Claremont out of bounds. And that's how quickly the Lions can strike.
Well, it's inside of the safety, Joey Bose, who's going to line up right here, but his responsibility is deep. Brian Clark shows blitz. Now he's going to be the shallow dropper. And guess what? Jason Claremont's in between. You see, there's Clark. He drops deep. Now he's too shallow. Bose's too deep. Claremont's in the middle in between them. He comes up with the big catch, and it's a face mask at the end of that, too, that they didn't call.
Down to the 1-yard line. Claremont has the Lions right there. First and goal to go. Dickinson. Not this time.
That's how quickly it can happen when you have Dave Dickinson at the helm. 2 quick plays, one running to Antonio Warren.
Well, and that set it up, and then the play action, right?
Yeah, and then you have play action. The defense has to respect Warren after the big run. And right in between that play action is Jason Claremont.
Claremont for 43 yards. Antonio Warren for 28. And look where the Lions are. Second and goal to go from right there. Backfield.
You know what? Milo Lewis gambled and won. I mean, he rolled the dice a little bit here, but he rolled the dice and he rolled a 7. I guess if that's, I don't really know, but I think, see, watch him off the edge. His job is containment, right? But what he does says, you know what? I know the play. I'm going to play the play. I'm going to come off the corner, forget it. I know Antonio Warren's going to get the ball, and I'm going to make that tackle. If Dave Dickinson pulls it down, that's a touchdown for the BC Lions. Milo Lewis gambled, but he won.
And here are the Lions gambling on third down. Goal to go from the 3-yard line. They began this portion of the drive at the 1. And no! Not a hope. Stampeders defense comes up huge.
Demetrius Maxey to the Maxey.
How about the Stampeders holding the Lions 3 cracks at it, beginning at the 1.
This quarter is brought to you by Esquire. This is your time.
Hey, Mom, Dad, you're here already. Amanda, I love you. I'll talk to you right after the game after we pull off a W. I'll talk to you today.
The faces of football on TSN.
And hey, Granny, I love you too, so I haven't called you in a while.
Remembering everyone at home. Stampeders with a huge goal line stand. And on first down, it's Reynolds out across the 10.
Well, Demetrius Maxey down on that third down gamble gets penetration. Garrett Smith will make the tackle, but Maxey right there gets the legs of Warren. There's Garrett Smith who throws him to the ground. Maxey just cutting through that offensive line in a hurry.
And a little disgust at the BC bench. 7 yards the gain on the previous play for the Stampeders. 2nd and 3 here. And Reynolds gets the call again. No goal this time.
But, John, this is a good example of what hustling and never quitting on every play. Remember Jason Claremont in front of Brian Clark and behind Brian Clark and in front of Joey Bose? Watch Brian Clark's hustle at the end of this play. I mean, at any time in this play, he could have said, well, that's deep, and that's Bose's guy. Bose misses him. Clark hustles, gets him out of bounds on the 1. 3 plays later, the Calgary offense is on the field. No points for the Lions.
Lions were set up at the 1-yard line. 0 on the first play, -2 on the second, -1 on the third play. 3 plays by the Stampeder defense after Clark makes the play down at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, that's a testament to the no-quit attitude of this defense, and that's how you play the game. If you just do not ever stop until you hear the whistle on any play, good things can happen. Now they'll punt the football, but they take points off the board, all because of the hustle of Brian Clark.
Clinton Gatehouse a couple of yards deep in the Stampeder end zone. That's Aaron Lockett out near the 50. Whoa. Charge was on. Lockett wrapped up. Solid special teams work by the Stampeders. 1st and 10 Lions. Calgary's John Grace, Defensive Player of the Week 4 times this season and leading the Stampeders in sacks with 7 on the year. And look where the Calgary Stampeders are on the sack parade with 43 on the season. Every sack in tonight's game, Purolator contributes the quarterback's weight in food to the local food bank. Purolator, Canada's biggest courier company. It's been a great campaign. Dave Dickinson steps up and Brazel, and he couldn't squeeze it.
Brian Clark shows great hustle, and then in a couple plays has to come back. He's in part of that coverage, and Brian Clark has not got a lot of sleep, John, over the last couple of days, and congratulations to he and his wife Shannon. Mom Carol is back at home too watching, and they just had the brand new baby girl Ashlyn. So congratulations to Brian Clark, and everybody's healthy and happy, and he's flying around this football field like he's got new inspiration back at home, isn't he?
He certainly is, and had a great game last week as well.
Yeah,
against the Argos. Intercepted, picked off, and it's Clark. That's Ashlyn's dad heading to the end zone. How about that for timing?
Oh, congratulations, Brian Clark. New baby girl and a touchdown. You can sign the ball and dedicate it.
There's one for Ashlyn. 67-yard interception return. The Stampeders back within a point.
Well, this is what he does. This is what he brings to the table. Game in and game out, play in and play out. He's got great mobility to the outside. He can stop the run, and look at the speed. He gets the ball in his hands, and he is gone. Brian Clark has a football, a touchdown that will go in the trophy case right above baby Ashlyn's crib, I'm sure. Yeah, he'll get that one back. It's up in the stands. You got to go get that one back.
Yeah, no, I think you do, Brian. You got to get the ball. I can see Shannon at home sitting watching this and saying,
yeah,
what did you throw it up there for?
Second interception of the year for Brian Clark.
It's all even. And the second half has belonged to the Stampeders. It's Friday night, and we look for Gladiators on Friday.
How's everybody back home? Yes, sir.
Right there on the wristband.
Well, back-to-back plays for the Calgary Stampeders at the 1-yard line, and then the interception, 67 yards for the touchdown. This guy's having a whale of a game.
Yeah, John, they've been doing it all year. There's where Brian Clark starts. They show blitz, and then he drops out. Do it all the time. And this is the beauty of the 34 defense, because it can confuse even veteran quarterbacks like Dave Dickinson. He thought he had Geroy Simon open. Clark read his eyes, slid underneath, and is gone to the end zone. Interception for brand new baby Ashlyn, who's at home with wife Shannon watching this one. And congratulations to the Clark clan.
Well done. So all of a sudden, the Calgary Stampeders with an impressive drive on offense and a couple of big plays on defense. In fact, about 4 great plays on defense.
And they've been doing it all year. There's another one. We showed you this when there was 8 interceptions, 4 touchdowns. Well, let's make it 9 with 5 touchdowns. Thank you to Brian Clark. That's from the Calgary Stampeders fans and his family.
Well, yeah, well, thank you for the timing on it, too, because we've just done the whole thing. Welcome to Ashlyn. And you can't plan that very many nights.
You really can't. Now the BC Lions have to stop some of this momentum. You know, Matt Dunnigan said coming on, we need a score on defense and get our offense going, and we'll be okay. Well, they've done that in the second half.
Lions have made a change in the kick return game. That's Geroy Simon, and he's got nowhere to run either. Wrapped up in a hurry by Christian Simmerling, and flags are all over the place down there as tempers flare around the 40.
Yeah, there's going to be a late hit to start with, on the BC Lions. It looked like Paris Jackson and Andre Lane were battling on the special teams. Then there was a hit after that, so we'll see how they sort it out. I believe the first one will be against the Lions, though.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness. BC number 33. First down.
Well, they call Kelly Lockbaum on the unnecessary roughness. Paris Jackson and Andre Lane were in an all-out fist fight. Either way, BC Lions get the penalty, and that'll drive them back. First down, however.
First down for the Lions, but it's inside the 15. The Stampeders have turned the game around with back-to-back touchdowns in the second half. And that was a little messy. Down at the Lions bench, Farhan.
John, just an update on the Corey Mantika story. We told you earlier that he suffered a dislocated elbow on Dave Dickinson's first interception on the return. The injury also included a compound fracture. There were 2 broken bones. He'll have surgery tonight to fix the injury.
Mantika just drawing back into the Lions lineup after missing 4 games.
And this is ugly. I mean, that's the humerus bone and the ulna had a compound fracture. I mean, you know, we can only hope a speedy recovery for Corey Mantika. It's been a tough year for him. Marcus McFadden comes in the lineup for Corey Mantika at that right tackle.
First and 15 for the Lions. Dickinson has Lyle Green, and there were Stampeders surrounding him. Made the catch, and there was nowhere to go. Perry?
John, Stamp's defense playing well. They're doing it without Antoine Young. He was hurt in the final minute of the first half, walked on his own power to the locker room, but has just returned. In civvies, he has a strained MCL. And we'll watch the rest of this one from the sidelines.
Hard-hitting affair tonight at BC Place. 3rd game of the season between these 2 teams, this being the rubber match. Lions won the first, Stampeders the second.
Garrett Smith in the lineup, by the way, for Antoine Young.
And play whistle down again as Simon made the catch.
Both teams having to juggle in the trenches, and Garrett Smith had some playing time. In fact, he has 3 sacks coming in, and Garrett Smith also made the tackle.
Procedure. BC number 69. It remains 2nd down.
He made the tackle on Antonio Warren when they were going on 3rd down by the goal line. So another procedure call against the BC Lions. They're going backwards right now.
Looking at 2nd and 13. Back to the Lions 9 now. 2:09 to go, 3rd quarter. Stampeders are charging. Dickinson escapes. Gutsy run for Dave Dickinson, who'll get the first down out across the 25.
Boy, it really was. And
whoa!
He gets up limping a little bit on that bad leg, the right knee, that he's rehabbed the entire time. And he was limping a bit when he got up, but what a courageous run for Dave Dickinson, because he knew he was going to have to cut back into the danger area in order to pick up the first down. He commits now, but this is the one that he has to reach down, and he knows he's going to get smacked coming in that middle, but he picks up enough for the first.
He needed 13. Dickinson grabbed 16. Play action fake on a nice one. Thelwell near side, and he stays in. No! They roll him out of bounds. Not much of an argument from number 3 for BC.
They've been trying to set this play up all game long to Ryan Thelwell. They've thrown a couple little ones in the out pattern on the sideline. Let's take a look. You only need 1 leg in, and he had that left leg in when he had control. I think that might have been a catch. Look, take a look at this again. Thelwell has the ball in his hands. We have a good look at it for you. Right there, the ball is caught. Look at this leg. Is that foot touch? 1 leg in the CFL. I think that's a catch.
They say no. 2nd and 10. Dickinson to the other side. And he won't get a first down out of the completion over there to Cotello.
Now, John, the only way that I could see the officials saying that's incomplete on the sideline is if they didn't think that Thelwell had control of the ball until the right leg came down. Now, you could see both hands on it here, but does he have control? Because clearly the left leg is in bounds. Then it kind of moved up in his shoulder pad area, and then the right leg came on the stripe out of bounds. So obviously the officials thought that Thelwell did not have control of the football when the right leg touched the white stripe.
That has to be the ruling. Cotello with a 7-yard gain, not enough. And so here are the Lions in a punting situation inside the 20. O'Mahony, nice kick. All the way down to the Stampeder 30. It's Nick Lewis. And he's had a nice night on a couple of returns. Stampeders decent field position with lots of momentum in the second half. Stampeders have 2 touchdowns in the second half to get even with the BC Lions. And flags everywhere on first down Calgary. Rogers player of the game. Rogers, your world right now. Reminder, it's time to vote. If you've got any thoughts on who that player might be. Might be thinking about a Lion from the first half and a Stampeder from the second.
Ryan Clark, Nick Lewis, a couple of Stampeders that have come up big in this second half. The BC Lions, Frank Cotello had a nice touchdown
Calgary
catch.
number 67. It remains first down.
Dave Dickinson played pretty well in that first half, especially, and then it was sort of halfway through the second quarter that the Calgary defense started to turn up the dial just a little bit.
Tightened the screws. A noisy crowd on hand at BC Place as the Stampeders look at 1st and 15 as a result. Joffrey Reynolds has his biggest escape of the night, a nice run crossing into BC territory, and he's inside the 50. And that is the final play of the third quarter. It's slipping away from the Lions toward the Stampeder side.
You don't see, well, at the bottom there, you see the Clark interception. They got some offense out of their defense. Once again, now 6 of 17 games, basically, the defense and or the special teams has scored a major.
Don't forget the goal line stand by the Stampeders in the third quarter as well. 2nd and 5 Calgary. The Lions 42. Nice play action fake, and this will go for a first down. McGarity makes the catch and spins for extra yardage after the fact.
Pretty good reaction to the football for Wayne McGarity, who breaks on the out. It's a long throw for Kahari Jones. And it's going to come right at you. Deshaun Austin is providing the cover. You see that Jones has a throwing lane. His offensive line does a nice job of opening up a lane. Saw the ball come right, and then McGarity had to come back to the football. I would say probably a disappointing season overall for Wayne McGarity when you look at just a couple of touchdowns and just over halfway towards 1,000 yards.
He had almost 800 yards receiving last year.
However, he still has that big play potential.
So does Joffrey Reynolds. He's inside the 15-yard line. 189 yards for Reynolds against the Argonauts last Saturday. And he's nowhere near that against this BC Lion defense, but he's been more productive in the second half without question.
And I've said it many times, but running backs, the 15th to the 20th carry is when the running backs really make hay. That's when they really add up their yardage totals. Every running back loves that 15th to 20th rep right in there. They've worn down the defense a little.
7 yards there, and he'll get it again. No, he won't. Nice play action fake. Jones just missed. And a big hit over there. McGarity was the intended target.
Well, McGarity hits Sam Young on the sideline, or Young may have an interception. And they were coming over to the outside. Sam Young comes off his man, closes from the corner position. He's coming downhill. The ball comes off the hands of Wayne McGarity, Now he must feel a little responsible for this because he turns around, puts a pretty good hit on Sam Young there, had a chance at the football.
Absolutely correct. Here's Clinton Greathouse. Good on 11 of 13.
Receiver becomes defensive back.
Stampeders go for the lead, and Greathouse has it. A 22-yard field goal for Greathouse, and look at the score.
Best forever, he said. I don't know if they can be best forever, but okay.
Antonio Warren will watch this one roll out.
I mean, this Fritos pandemonium. I mean, the people going to Grey Cup. That section, I mean, you got nutty up here, you got wacky here, you got crazy. I mean, they go down that list. There has been some costumes. They spent most of the season, and you can see Kyle there. He put a lot of work into his helmet, and he had a little G. Roy Simon doll on the top of it. And oh,
yeah,
man.
the Fritos reception is going to be something special in Ottawa, I would think. When that whole gang gets together, and those are the lucky fans who will be at the 2004 Grey Cup.
Scary in a fun way, I guess is the way
think
you say.
absolutely. Wacky at its best.
Yeah.
Lions look at first down. Dickinson at the controls, had 4 receivers to the far side and handed off, and the Stampeders were waiting for Antonio Warren.
So you wonder, with Dave Dickinson now down by 3 and this offense stalling, let's stir it up a little bit. And what about Casey Printers, and should he come into the game?
Some suggestion that Printers was not real healthy for this one too, but that might have been a partial smoke screen sent our way.
I asked him about that, and he said, I'm fine. But he is banged up.
Dickinson on second down, steps up, takes off again. Second run for Dickinson, and the second time he has picked up the first down with a gutsy run. George White making the tackle. So what about the quarterbacking dilemma and or controversy in BC? Here's Casey.
When a team is down and out and you're looking for some kind of spark, then that's when it's a quarterback controversy. But we're winning. We're winning week in and week out. You know, sometimes we lose. You know, we have an 11-5 record right now. So, I mean, we're looking at the big picture. The big picture. The big picture is winning football games and ultimately winning a championship.
Dickinson just missing.
Well, and the big picture is this. This is the big picture. Whether he's banged up or not, Casey Printers could play tonight if they wanted him to. But Wally Buono has said for the last couple of weeks, he needs Dave Dickinson to become sharp. He wants them both sharp. He knows Casey Printers, what he can do. But he wants Dave Dickinson to get as many reps. So that big picture that Casey Printers was talking about was Dave Dickinson on the field for right now.
Big picture is first place in the West already wrapped up, and the home field advantage for the Western Final belongs to BC. Dickinson looking for Brazel again, and that's back-to-back to Brazel, and no connection from Dave Dickinson.
Yeah, and I got to give credit to Chris Brazel, who probably could have got up and complained a little bit. I thought Milo Lewis gave him a little shove in the back at the end of that play. And Brazel really didn't complain. He got up, went to the sideline, and said, we'll reload. But as far as the quarterbacks go for the BC Lions, I think Wally Buono has basically said, look, Dickinson in these 2 games is going to get some reps, a bunch of them.
Dickinson sharp as attack in the first half, particularly in the opening quarter with an impressive drive and 2 touchdown tosses. In the second half, the Stampeders have roared back to take the lead.
And John, let's not forget who brought back the BC Lions versus the Montreal Alouettes last week.
They still talk about the drive, although it was only a week ago, but it was Dickinson who got the Lions the victory and wrapped up top spots in the West as a result with that win over Montreal. So the Stampeders with 2 touchdowns and a field goal here in the second half have possession again. Kahari Jones has looked sharp lately, and he's got another strike and another first down. Sanford has been his go-to guy in the second half. Celicio Sanford picks up 24 yards there.
Well, football's often a game of adjustments at halftime. Matt Dunnigan went in at halftime, and after this offense had struggled in a big way in the first half, throwing the football just 6 yards and a half, he went back and looked at the short side of the field, and Celicio Sanford and the matchup of him on Dante Marsh, and has gone to Sanford in the second half a bunch, including that play.
So the Stampeders with 9:10 to go have a first down out of the Calgary 50. 2 receivers to the far side. Joffrey Reynolds more than halfway to a first down. He's across midfield, and a little intrigue at the Lions bench.
Yeah, John, that last series and that throw to Chris Brazel, Dave Dickinson was hit by Scott Coe, and he took a hit right on his left side. And it was a hard one from Cole right here. He put the helmet right underneath that arm. Now he went over, and Billy Rochelle, the trainer for the Lions, was working on him on that sideline.
Second and 4, Calgary, as Printer warms up for the Lions. Oh! Just about going the other way. Tyrone Williams had an opportunity there, and it'll be third down. Stamps get set to kick it away, and we expect to see Printers in the game.
Yeah, now it may be Casey the bat here, because Printers is in that bullpen kind of warm-up. That's not that warm-up that you go over there and you're just trying to stay loose in a just-in-case thing. That looked like warm-up with some urgency.
You can see the expression on Dickinson's face there. I mean, just a split second ago.
See, that's a different type of warm-up than a quarterback just saying loosening up over there, saying, you know, maybe down the road. This looks like we'll see number 1.
Aaron Lockett back at the 20.
Uh-oh.
Greathouse got it away somehow. Aaron Lockett solid on special teams. Joe Bonaventura, and here's Printers ready to go. Dave Dickinson will watch for a while. Casey Printers at the controls for the BC Lions. And here we go. Printers has had a difficult time against only one team this season when you really look at it. The Stampeders have played them tough. Antonio Warren for a couple.
Well, Dave Dickinson, 20 of 32, 230. And you see the 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
And one of those interceptions went for 7 the wrong way for Dickinson's liking.
And that hit from Scott Coe has him on the sideline now. This is not a decision from Wally Buono. This is an injury situation, and we see Printers.
First pass for Printers, and he's got Claremont for a huge first down for the Lions. Out across the 30.
And you could tell by the urgency of that warm-up that he was coming in, and that warm-up, this is exactly the same type of throw he was throwing to Claremont in that warm-up. Nice hard throw right over the middle. Claremont gets in between the 2 linebackers on the play, John Grace and I believe Brian Clark.
$16 yards to Claremont. Printers shotgun. He's got Simon, and they'll draw a flag as well on a late hit on Casey Printers.
Yeah, George White came in and hit him late after he threw that completion to G. Roy Simon. Now, you mentioned Printers.
Major foul, roughing the passer, Calgary number 38.
You mentioned Printers had struggled against the Calgary Stampeders. And, you know, when you watch Casey Printers play this season, you would think that You would think that when he took that uniform off, he had an S on his chest underneath until he played Calgary, and he was hit a bunch in the 2 games against the Stampeders. But now the difference in this one tonight is he's had 3 quarters to watch this defense from the sideline. See if that helps him.
Net 21 on the completion and the penalty. And all of a sudden, the Lions are out near midfield at the 54. Lyle Green breaks one, and he'll get a first down inside the 45 of the Stampeders. So Printers has ignited the Lions on this drive. His first opportunity on the field tonight at BC Place.
If you look at those numbers, you would think, yeah, that's great numbers if you're playing against Calgary. But that's 2 games, not 1 game. That's 2 games against Calgary. And those, when you compare his other numbers throughout the season, were not great. Calgary Stampeders won 1 and lost 1 in overtime versus the Lions.
And he took some hits in those Calgary games as well. Bellwell goes high, brings it down. He'll be stopped shy of a first down at the 40. Farhan?
Well, guys, as far as Dave Dickinson is concerned, originally they thought he was just winded, but then when he tried to throw on the sidelines and move around, he was having a lot of pain when he rotated during his throwing motion. For now, they're just saying it's a bruised rib. Casey Printers gets a chance to do what Dickinson did a week ago. Meanwhile, Antonio Warren is also suffering from leg cramps. He's been in and out of this game probably 3 or 4 times as a result of it, so Lyle Green gets his opportunity.
2nd and 5, Lions. Printers will get a first down here. Claremont again. This guy has been huge for BC tonight.
Well, now it changes things defensively for the Calgary Stampeders with Casey Printers in the game. Where they had to be technically sound in their drops with Dave Dickinson, now they have to be careful for the athletic ability of Casey Printers. Make sure that if you have contained, you keep contained, because if Printers starts running around back there, you can really break down a defense in a hurry.
Lions now at the Stampeder 32. And there you see it. There's Printers escaping, and Claremont makes the catch for a 5-yard gain.
Well, we saw the difference in the pass rush, you know, when Scott Coe comes in and he hits Dave Dickinson, and you can see that the Calgary Stampeders for 3 quarters defensively were just getting after Dave Dickinson when they went back there. Now they have to be a little bit careful. They have to slow down their pass rush. They have to look past and make sure they maintain their gaps and their responsibilities rather than just pinning their ears back and going after the quarterback. It changes the mental philosophy from Denny Crehan's defense when you face Printers.
Making 4 yards. This is 2nd and 6. And this is Simon eluding 1 tackle. He's down inside the 10. G-Roy Simon. And Printers lighting it up against this Stampeder defense with 3 minutes to go. Stampeders have come back to take the lead, but the Lions are a wonderful finish for the Lions before this is over. Stampeders have scored the last 17 points. Casey Printers is in and looks to put an end to that right here. What a move. He's down to the 2.
And he got hit hard at the end of that run. And he's slow to get up and limps back. Great run at the point of attack. I talked about how the defensive line now have to be so controlled in their pass rush, because even a small little gap in that line, Printers will take advantage of. Here's another angle of it. He's going to go right in between Sheldon the Pustuck there and Demetrius Maxey from the outside. It's not a big hole, but enough for Printers to get in, and then he gets hit hard at the end. Now he jumped up, and he's getting back into that huddle.
Printers has taken the Lions down to the 2-yard line. He began this drive 94 yards ago. 2nd and goal to go. Stampeders 2.
Oh, dropped it.
Lost the ball. And who's got it? Stampeders say that it belongs to John Grace.
Well, for the Calgary Stampeders, maybe saving grace.
At least for now. Antonio Warren in and out of the game because of problems. And a disappointing night in some ways for Wally Buono.
John, the handoff looked a little high. Now, this is a good chance to look at it again. Yeah, see, the handoff from Printers, is a little high up in the shoulder pad area of Antonio Warren. The running back is looking at the line of scrimmage. He is not looking at the football. The ball's got to be in the breadbasket. If it's too high, it comes off the padding, bounces out of his hands, is on the turf. Calgary recovers.
Couple of goal line stands for this Stampeder defense in the second half. John Grace, what a year. Antonio Warren limping at the sidelines. Joffrey Reynolds on first down.
These linebackers for the Calgary Stampeders, they just call them the Four Horsemen. I mean, these guys are, you look across that board, John Grace, George White, Brian Clark.
Well, they've all made a contribution tonight.
Scott
Coe as well.
A big hit on Dave Dickinson. Boy, they just keep battling. Kahari Jones, though, needs a couple of first downs.
2nd and 7 for Jones and the Stampeders. Looking deep here, has a target, and the coverage was too good. Montana, that's the first time they've gone in his direction tonight, and Sam Young was there and waiting.
You know, he had a step on Sam Young. Denny Montana down the sideline, but Young showed tremendous make-up speed. He turns and runs and catches up to Denny Montana with the ball in the air. Look at the make-up speed, kept his eye on the ball, didn't panic, and got the right hand on the football to knock it out of there. That's tremendous coverage and no quit from Sam Young.
3rd down, Stampeders set to kick it away. 1:55 to go. Lots of time for the Lions to get into the end zone or get in field goal range and force overtime. It's 17-14 Calgary right now.
Yeah, and this is tough for Matt Dunnigan, the head coach, because you know, in this situation, many times with your kicker that deep in the end zone, you're giving up 2. They give up 2, though. They make it a 1-point game with lots of time on the clock. So they're going to have to kick this ball out, basically, and then hope their defense can stop it.
Well, hang on.
Well, I mean,
they'll surrender the 2 points. Greathouse looking to take some time off the clock as well, but not enough. 1:44, and it's now a 1-point game.
Yeah, but this is the decision you make. I mean, if Matt Dunnigan kicks the football from back there, you got Greathouse 6, 7, 8 yards deep in his end zone, okay?
And Lockett standing out around the 50.
Right, so he catches it there. Let's say he catches it 45, 50, picks up 6, 7 yards. Your field goal kicker's in range in a dome stadium for the BC Lions. So that's 3 points. That's the tying point. Now, when you make up the real estate by giving the safety, you now give the Lions the opportunity to kick a field goal to win the game rather than tie the game. So that's the dilemma that was faced with Matt Dunnigan faced in that last decision.
Wendy's Friday Night Football, and Friday night means it's time for Glenn's Gladiator.
It's been a tough season for the Calgary Stampeders. They've won 2 of their last 3. They refuse to quit despite the fact they're out of the playoffs. And I'm sure Brian Clark's one of those guys that said, whatever comes through those gates, even if it's Lions, if we stay together, we'll survive. And they stayed together, even though the first half looked like all BC. Brian Clark led the way. Brian Clark's our gladiator.
67-yard interception return for the touchdown. A couple of other plays, including saving a touchdown down at the 1-yard line when the Lions got right down there, and then the defense took over after that and shut down the Lions on 3 cracks at it from inside the 5. So here are the Lions now with 1:44 to go. It's Casey Printer at the controls, and that's Chris Brazel making the catch at the 45. Dave Dickinson began the game.
You know, John,
he is injured and on the sidelines.
Part of Matt Dunnigan's decision there has to be based on the play of his defense. You give up 2, yes, you're giving up those 2 points, and now a field goal costs you the game, but you're putting a pretty darn good defense on the field, and he needs another stop from him.
Claremont, first down, Lions across midfield into Stampeder territory.
They find ways to make plays, don't they? And that guy's been doing it all season long, Jason Claremont. That ball almost knocked down at the point of attack. Nice break on the ball right there from Milo Lewis. Missed tackle from Terrence Moore. Claremont's been making a few of those Stampeders miss in the open field tonight.
Over 100 yards receiving for Claremont. And he has the touchdown. Printers stymied momentarily. And Thelwell couldn't bring it down. First incompletion for Casey Printers, 8 for 8.
And it should have been caught. And it should have been caught by Thelwell on the sideline. It was a bit high, but Thelwell's caught that many, many times this season. Now you can see the Calgary Stampeders have gone to a 4-man rush with Printers. They don't want to send too many people, get Printers outside of that pressure with one-on-ones all over the field. So far, it's been 4-man pressure from the Stamps.
2nd and 10. Printers wrapped up. And Maxey gets through this time.
Yeah, see, that's what the Stamps went to. They went to 4-man pressure with Brian Clark, our gladiator tonight, spying the one back that Printers had as a safety valve. So basically it becomes 3-man pressure.
2nd sack of the game for Maxey.
Lyle Green is right here. Maxey's over here. Lyle Green is a safety valve for Printers. Brian Clark takes him out of the backfield to the left. Now Printers doesn't have a safety valve, and he turns back, and Maxey's right there to clean him up on the sack.
For Maxey on the season, 6 sacks, and he hasn't been around all that long. He is an impact guy for this Calgary Stampeder defense. Now 58 seconds remaining, and the Stampeders clinging to a 1-point lead.
You know, the BC Lions hosting the West Final.
Tonight's game story brought to you by Sport Check, proud supporter of the CFL.
A good thing that the Lions don't play the Stamps maybe in the playoffs, because it's been the one team that's given them some problems. Stamps overcome that deficit.
3rd down and Printers. Can Axial get a 1st down? Claremont. Absolutely amazing. 3rd down and 24 to go. And Printers stands in and fires the strike to Claremont.
Oh,
well over 100 yards now.
What a catch by Jason Claremont.
And then he needed yards after the catch to get the 1st down.
Traffic all around him, John, and Scott Coe hit his own man, missed Claremont in the open field, and Claremont dives for the extra yards he needs.
Printers near side. Thelwell is wide open. BC definitely in field goal range now with 36 seconds to go. TSN turning point tonight is the catch by Claremont. Or look at it the other way, the pass from Printers to Claremont.
Well, you make the play of the game right there, Jason Claremont. He's coming right across. We'll look at it one more time. Watch Scott Coe. He's coming over to take Claremont's head off and misses him right there. Hits his own man. Claremont keeps his balance, picks up the extra 4 or 5 for the 1st down.
36 seconds on the clock. Stampeders cling to a narrow lead. Lyle Green.
Folks, I don't think it's too far out on a limb to say that Jason Claremont may be the Canadian of the CFL this year, the outstanding Canadian. And I know that Ben Cahoon's had a good year. There's been some players across this league, but and there was some question who would be the nominee out of BC between him and Brent Johnson, but
that's still an interesting vote.
But I tell you what, plays like that from Jason Claremont kind of seal the deal, don't they?
So a look at the game story, and it will change a little bit here, perhaps.
Well, that's why we put it in there and we showed you some of it, because the first part is still good because Stamps and Dickinson, but we've got to change the printer stuff because the story we're filling in the final chapters.
Chapters 1, 2, and 3 are okay.
Yeah.
But Casey Printers, in relief of an injured Dave Dickinson, has rallied the Lions, and they're in position to win this all of a sudden. 3rd down and 24. Printers to Claremont kept the Lions drive alive, and with 28 seconds on the clock, BC looks at the opportunity here, sending the field goal unit out. Duncan O'Mahony
gets
his first opportunity
now
for 3 tonight.
This is well in Duncan O'Mahony's range, his longest on the season, 46, but it has been a bit of an adventure at times for Duncan O'Mahony this year.
Had a tough start, then had a great streak.
He's 4 for his last 5 in the last 2 games. He's been on track of late.
From the 28, dead center. O'Mahony for the win. 17 seconds on the clock, and it's running. Here's O'Mahony. He's got it. Lions have the lead with 9 seconds to go. Valiant effort by the Stampeders, but they're down by 2.
And really, all the Calgary Stampeders have time for now is to take the football rather than the kickoff return.
And there's time for one long one at hope.
Yeah, one long one. Or maybe try and get about a 15, 20-yarder out of bounds with 4 or 5 seconds left. Try and go for another one with about 6 seconds left and see if you can get the field goal on the field.
The Lions have come back to take the lead by 2. Kahari Jones, solid second half, but it's all up for grabs here. Montana, first catch of the game out at midfield. 1 second remaining. Clinton Greathouse is the kicker. And they'll need a 62-yard connection if they decide to go that way, unless there's a Hail Mary thought in the mind of Kahari Jones.
You got to believe that 62 yards is too far. And so it's Hail Mary once more and hope for either a catch, a tip, or a penalty. Yeah.
Here we go. Should be the last play of the game, barring a penalty. 0's on the clock. Here are the Stampeders kicking it into the end zone, but they're down by 2. Oh, hang on. Picked up by Sanford. Flags are down.
Now
was onside?
Was Celicio Sanford behind the kicker when he kicked the football down the field? Anyone behind the kick is onside.
Sanford thinks he's got the winning points.
Anyone behind the punter
can recover the ball.
Is onside.
No yards. Calgary number 81. First down.
Apparently Celicio Sanford wasn't.
So it is a first down for the Lions, and effectively the game is over.
Because if he's not, if he's in front of the kicker, then therefore the no yards penalty.
Dunnigan wants another look here. Look at this. Matt Dunnigan hates the call. It'll go down as a 2-point victory for the BC Lions.
Well, wait just 1 minute. You can't end the game on a penalty, and that's what Jake Ireland is saying right now.
Even if the Lions have the option of turning it down. Now, I'm not so sure if Dunnigan is angry about that or the fact that he believed Sanford was onside and eligible to recover the ball.
Well, here's the play, because you know there's still the old drop kick in the playbook too, where you can throw it, turn around, drop kick it through the uprights for a field goal.
Well, you get 3 for that, but this was in fact a punt by Juhas.
And in the estimation of the officials, Celicio Sanford was in front of the punt, therefore that's no yards because no Lion has touched it yet. So there's a penalty. BC football, no touchdown, and you can't end the game on a penalty.
Flags are down. certainly there. That is the game, and Dunnigan is steamed. I don't know if our angle showed where Juhas kicked the ball and where Sanford was at the time that he kicked it, making him an eligible receiver, and Dunnigan irate about that. It certainly would have been dramatic had it gone Calgary's way. It'll go up as a 2-point win for the BC Lions. And Dunnigan isn't ready to give up quite yet, is he?
It's very close, and Matt Dunning will let us all know when he produces the film, won't he?
Yeah, no kidding. Bottom line is it's a BC Lions victory. They got one game left against Saskatchewan. Calgary will go into Winnipeg to wrap up their season. Calgary makes them work again, and their defense is a big story, as was Jason Claremont. There was a lot of good things about this game.
You made a really good observation. This was the exact opposite of the Montreal game. Casey Printers gets hurt. Dave Dickinson comes in, saves the day. This time Dave Dickinson gets shaken up. Casey Printers comes in, saves the day. Still no clear idea who should be a quarterback with this football team, the BC Lions, but it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it sure was, and I'm sure Calgary's going to be kicking themselves for a couple of reasons. I mean, giving up 3rd and 27. Again, they did that against the Renegades and lost a crucial football game the same way. But gutsy performance by the Stamps.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's still a lot of positives for them to build upon as they head into next season and the off season. The CFL on CBC tomorrow, 2:30 Eastern. Ottawa at Montreal is their game. Our next game is going to be Sunday, and this is